Alright, so the time has come. Finally able to fit it into the budget to get one of these boxes. You can even see that. Auto Custom Carpets Incorporated. The box says www.accmats.com, but I actually went to stockinteriors.com. I guess that's their new website. But very affordably priced, all kinds of options. You can get basics, just replacement carpet. You can get all sorts of colors, and they'll send you color samples so you can match perfectly what you've got in your vehicle. In this case, I wasn't worried about matching. They got 3 different grades of piles, and if you're really crazy enough, they've got neon coloring too. But what I got in this one was something Jonesy's Auto Club. Go look up their channel, they do some really cool stuff. But Jonesy's Auto Club, in a Suburban of this year group they called Suburban, they put a 12 valve Cummins in it, and to dampen all the noise of that, they did this carpet. It has mass loaded vinyl backing, so that should do a lot to tune down the sound and drone that we get from the 454 and the dual exhaust. Besides the fact that my interior carpet, over 20 years old, it's hashed. And the kids spilling chocolate milk and everything else in there. It's time for it to go. So again, I'm not matching. I'm going to stick with my two-tone interior that I'm going for here, and this is a black carpet. Today I'm not going to get to the install itself, because what you need to do with one of these carpet kits, it's all wrapped up and rolled up in this thing. You need to lay it out. And a good hot day like today where it's going to reach 97 degrees, probably already there by the feel of it, laying it out in the garage like this, get it to actually sit and settle. I mean, it's formed for the floor pans in here, but to get it out of that roll is what we're after today. Alright, so there you see it. Yeah, it comes rolled up like this. Looking at it, heavy mass vinyl backing, some jute padding as well. Good thick plush black carpet. This should be freaking pretty good. But yeah, that right there, that heavy mass backing, I'm hoping that'll kill a lot of the freaking drone and resonance we get in the cab. But I just peeled the 4 sides, sliced them down, keep the knife away from the carpet. I should be able to just roll it out. So that's what it's got, and they do put the actual foot pads that are in there for stock. Yeah, so full instructions, stuff I've seen before. They'll also do, so yeah, Stock Interiors, I guess is their dealer, stockinteriors.com. Auto Custom Carpets, they'll do custom floor mats with all kinds of embroidery and all kinds of other stuff. Basic instructions. If you've never done a carpet before, this will tell you what you need to be doing. It tells you how to actually get it in and out. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to roll it all out. I don't have enough cardboard to keep it off, so I definitely swept and cleaned the floor before I did this, but I'm going to roll it out, let it sit in the heat and pop back out, try to reform the contours for where the center transmission hump goes, all of that, which the instructions talk about that. But yeah, not a small carpet being the passenger area of a Suburban, but this should be pretty freaking cool. I'm gonna get to it. So yeah, you can tell this is the molding at the back where the seating area comes up for the 3rd row seat. You can see kind of the indentations for the transmission hump and the upper footwells. So it's all molded for everything. You can kind of see the lines here that go for that whole center transmission hump. But I'm going to let it sit here all day. It is definitely oversized. And in case you don't remember, your instructions will tell you, once you let it sit like this for a little bit, to let it relax back into shape. Because you got some of these folds here. It's going to be quite the vacuum job when I'm done. But the folds here are definitely from the packaging. Let it all lay out and sit out. But you'll fold it in half lengthways. Fold it on over itself, and with a Suburban with a rear that's accessed, I'll pull everything out of the Suburban, strip everything in there, and be able to take it in from the back, which is the nice thing about a Suburban. The next one of these I do will be for the S10, and that one may not be as easy. But yeah, at this point, I'm going to shut the garage door, and I'm going down to the basement to do some electrical work down there because it's much cooler down there. I don't feel like playing in the heat today. let this rest and reshape itself in the heat today, and then tomorrow we'll get back at it and we'll tear everything apart. Pull the seats out, pull everything out, get it stripped down. And put this stuff in there too. I got me a box of GT mat for it, so I'm going all out to try to kill the noise in there. So we'll see how this works out. Alright, to be able to see if this new carpet kit's going to make any difference, I'm going to do a before and after. So this is before with the old gray factory carpet. I got simple rubber mats in here, but I'm using this simple iPhone decibel app, and it'll tell you what decibels you got. You can see it ranging up and down. It captures peak here, does running here, does a little meter there, little graph there. I mean, it's all visually appealing, but I'm just interested in what the peak is here. So I'm going to do some in and around town, I'm going to do some interstate, and then I'm going to do some hills up there next to the mountains. We live down here at about 4,500 feet above sea level, and the hills are about 5,300 feet, so we're making a little bit of a climb between I-215 and those hills I'm thinking of doing. But what I'm looking at is those hills do require this truck to go to 3,000 RPMs and kind of sustain it for a bit, and you'll see how the peak of this thing is and why I'm wanting to do something about the sound in this cab. You know, that's becomes a big issue when we're going to Wyoming. There's some good climbs that way along I-80, or if we're going north on I-84 and I-82 up to Washington, either place visiting family. There are some long climbs there where that sustained high decibel, I think it's around 95, 96, 97, somewhere around there is what it gets to. Those sustained drones, you know, just a droning decibel of 3,000 RPM is nasty. So we're going to see if we can't kill some of that. Obviously, at this point, I've already done the doors with 80 mil, just the regular asphalt-based, aluminum-backed GT mat. I'm going to put some thermal insulation in there as well. The cargo area in this truck, if you've seen past videos, I've done that with some GT Mat Quadro, which has some closed cell foam, a layer of butyl, a layer of aluminum, a layer of butyl, so 4 layers of stuff. And that's back there in the cargo area. But the cargo area, you know, it's covered by that back seat most of the time, and then there's a couple cargo boxes in the back. I don't know that that's really the issue. I think here's the issue. On this carpet, you can see here, you're looking at a chocolate milk spill from the June road trip. I haven't bothered to even try to clean it out. Yeah, I've got carpeting cleaning stuff, but I'm not even bothering. Because, yeah, back then I knew I was already going to do this. I took up some side work and was able to afford this carpet. But yeah, that's all. I'm about to get to all the before stuff. Give you a read on what this stuff is like. Just factory carpet with 20-year-old jute padding that's all compressed and probably not any good anymore. Up front on the firewall, the factory has a foam type stuff up there too. So we'll just see that, you know, what the factory looks like. Alright, here we go. Just idling in the garage. Simple iPhone decibel app. My voice actually makes it go up and spike a little bit, but you're getting around 80 decibels right there, which is what up here in the little top it says it's an automobile. So I'm standard automobile at idle. This truck's not noisy at idle, but I'll show you a couple more situations. I was driving on I-215 highway driving. Now we're going to climb some hills.
Climb some hills? And are we going to climb some hills?
We are. First things first, make sure you got plenty of room. Be able to pull that in from the back, but then pull everything out. So removable seats out, mats are out, all the junk that's just hiding in the truck that I have, tools, everything else, empty everything. Center console, empty. Emptied everything that's going to be out. So now we can get to the hard part of actually removing those seats. Not really that hard, but it's a little bit of work. So remove the seats, the seat belts, the center console. Oh, I've got a fire extinguisher on the front up there I got to pull off there too. But remove everything. And then we'll have to start pulling out trim pieces. Like these trims are going to have to come. I'm going to have to get this trim off, which means the seat belt's going to have to come off here. So yeah, we'll have to remove those seat belts, those seat belts. So yeah, there's going to be a fair amount of disassembly here. Alright, there we go. All the seats are out. Once you look, the carpet backing on this stuff, maybe a third of what it is on the new stuff. The new stuff's definitely heavier weight. But I'm hoping these A and B and C pillars, I can just pull them away a little bit and kind of see exactly how far I have to go with the carpet. It just has to tuck under those a little bit. That's going to be the hardest thing, dealing with all my penetrations in the carpet over there, where exactly I had what. Alright, so all cleared out and cleaned out. You see a can of rust fix there and clear coat there because I found some rusty spots. Nothing too concerning. I mean, this is a desert truck. But you also see the original factory jute padding and this other type of padding they got all piled up here. I mean, this stuff is some sort of fiberglass with some aluminum layers. So I kept it. I'm going to put that right back down before I put the new carpet in. Even though the new carpet does come with some jute padding, this is just a lot more of it. And most of it's still in, you know, a couple, 2-3 layers of it. It's in good, decent shape. So I'm definitely putting that right back in. I figure the last thing in the world I want to do is get this job done and find out I made my truck noisy. The curious thing here is the factory has a couple panels of basically GT mat, same stuff I'm guessing. But they put it back here in these bigger panels to try to control. And anybody that's about to do the sound installation, you have to knock on your stuff, right? You got to show how tinny it is. That transmission tunnel is way tinny. But yeah. Yeah, it's not exactly going to hold back the vibrations. I think I may want to tear into this stuff a little bit more, tear all this off. Yeah, I'm going to go after that a little bit more. Because there's no way I'm trying to pull those up. There are ways to pull it up. You can look that up online. Dry ice, other ways to freeze it up, get it off. But I'm just going to go right over it with my new stuff. Crazy thing is all these little plugs, they're rusting. So I hit them with the rust reformer. And you see it's starting to turn black. Let it dry up a little bit more and I'll hit it with clear coat. That spot over there was the biggest piece of rust I found. Otherwise, I'm very, very happy to see that I got very little in the way of rust, which just confirms this is a desert truck, so there's not much rust. Alright, a couple seconds for you, a couple hours for us. And first things first, the question you're asking, if you've got a GMT 400 Suburban you're wanting to do this to, 50 square feet. We used every bit of the 50 square feet of this stuff. But yeah, now the interior of this looks like a baked potato. Well, that's 80 mil GT mat. It's an asphalt product, so it's the cheaper as far as sound deadening and sound deadening insulation type stuff goes. And to answer the other question people would ask about this, no, I never smell asphalt. It doesn't smell like a brand new road under here. I'm always perfectly fine with it. I've had it in the doors for a couple years now, a couple summers, and I've never had a problem. So this, you can see up forward, yeah, I'm not Dean and Fernando at 5-Star Car Audio down in Florida, so I've definitely got some wraps and warps up there. I don't do this every day, but I think this will do. And these panels right here, these floorboards are the biggest, longest ones we've got. So they have the most resonance, you know, versus transmission hump. It's solidified all of it pretty well. The very last sheet of it we cut down and put right there. So that's double layer there. My thought process is that's where the catalytic converters and mufflers and stuff are. I think one of the cats is here and one's there, but either which way. Put it all in, all or nothing. But now we got to put this jute pad back, and then the carpet goes in, and then the real fun begins is trimming that carpet to fit. But yeah, I'm hoping this changes things for this truck. If not, it's been a lot of wasted work, which my 12-year-old said, "That'd be funny, Dad, if it didn't change anything." I said, "No, it won't." But yeah, there's the baked potato effect with 80 mils of GT Matte. Like I said, love GT Matte stuff. I wish I could have got the Quadro. This stuff with this nice foam. And there's a good section of it. You see how much foam it's got with 2 layers of butyl, a layer of aluminum. This stuff is freaking cool. But they're sold out of it, and I wanted to get this done now while we've got 90 some odd degree heat, so this is real nice to work with. Forms and holds and cuts and everything beautifully when it's in these high 90s. So definitely getting it done. Alright, break time's over. I'll quit talking. Back to work. Just kidding. One point I forgot to bring up. T-Rex tape is what I'm using here to keep a lot of this. Is the transmission cable airbag module right under my seat. That's awesome. Means I can't put an amp layer. But all these other wires, I'm putting them down with this T-Rex tape. It's freaking good stuff. You know, competitor to Gorilla tape. But all of my amplifier wiring, everything, all that wiring is getting taped down with that to keep it from moving, rattling, doing anything. But yeah, now I'm going to get back to work. Alright, when they say they send it oversized, they ain't kidding. I've got a good freaking 10-12 inches more than I need there, and a good 10-12 inches more than I need there. Probably 4 inches either side overhang. So yeah, they do oversize it. Right now I'm kind of working on digging in for those floor vents, and that'll be how I center it, because those are both kind of... You got the hump right there for the airbag module. I've kind of centered on that. The cutting up there for all that floor vent up there is going to be interesting too. That might be another centering point. So I'm kind of working transmission hump out is what I'm trying to do. There's a bracket for the center console that's under there. I got to dig that out too. I'll cut that out. Just do a square cut around where it's at. Once I have these two located, those are molded in. What kind of bugs me is they're not cut into the carpet. They're just molded in. I wish they'd had them cut in, because that'd be real easy. But probably be more expensive. This is going to be fun once I get back to here. But yeah, I'm going to get everything straightened out up there, all of that laid down where I want it. It's mostly molded, and you got a lot of the details like this right here. It goes with some of the sheet metal that's right there. But it's not perfect by any means. And so I'm going to get it in there, get the chairs bolted down, and then just hope it over the rest of the summer gets itself back in place. I know you can use a heat gun and stuff to help try to shape it, but I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to get it the best I can. If I have to use a heat gun, I guess I'll have to, but try to go without it. Alright, I'm going to get back at it. Alright, Saturday night we worked till about 10:30 until I said, nope, I'm done. I was beat, my sons were beat. We had, at that point in time, both of these two front seats in. Center console still needed to go in. These two seats needed to go in, so obviously we finished that this morning. It's now Monday morning. Sunday's a day of rest. But it was going nicely. Not perfectly. So I couldn't figure out how to get things to center correctly. Obviously this pad is too far back, but yet I had signs of things back there not being far back enough, so the centering of it was just weird. But it went beautifully. I'm getting it to tuck in where it needs to tuck in. You know, it's up under here. A couple mistakes here, like here. I don't know if you can even tell. You see that peeking through. I should have had more carpet there. I cut too much there. It looks good up here. But back here is where it started going bad. No, the mat's covering it up, but it didn't tuck fully under there. I don't know if you got enough light to see in here. Hang on. So yeah, back at that B pillar down there, it didn't tuck fully. I missed by like half an inch or so. It's real wrinkly under there. It's not laying down. I'm sure real upholstery guys would know what they're doing. You know, how to use a heat gun to make it actually lay down. Just didn't work so well for me. Back here it's just horrible. And what I'm really kicking myself for is right here. You can see how I cut probably here about an inch too much. And here if I'd have just had another half inch, and I was going slow. I was going like a 1/4 inch at a time. But tugging and pulling and stuff, it got away from me. And that one definitely didn't tuck where it needs to. And there's nothing to do about it now. I mean, that much I can get tucked. So my next solution for this, I mean, I can't do anything about that gap right there. But for this, I'm going to get some double-sided tape or some Velcro type double-sided stuff, something, to try to tack it down here and keep it there. There ain't nothing I can do about this. A little bit more double-sided tape in there maybe, but that just pisses me off. I had the same kind of issues back in here. I mean, that tucked neatly, but on that side it did not. It fought me the whole way back here in the back. It was just mean. Couldn't make it work the way I wanted to. When I got the mats back in, we're ready to go do another one of the test drives. Let's see if this has actually quieted the truck down any. If we're doing better in here or not. Sure hope so, because let's see if I can find a scrap. Let's go trash digging. Here we go. This is the jute pad that's on the back side of theirs. You notice it's not like, you know, the factory stuff looks like shredded jeans and t-shirts and stuff, so it's like recycled clothing. This doesn't make me wonder if these fibers are actually, I mean, you look at that, that's very plastic. If this is recycled soda bottles. Because my goodness, you cannot poke through it. It just stretches. You can cut it along this. So if you're cutting along this axis through, you can with scissors and anything else. But try to go through to poke it. Try to get a hole through there. Holy cow, did it fight. So every one of my penetrations in there was just a battle. All right, let's get to the drive. All right, here we are, just sitting here outside the garage idling. To us, it feels and sounds quieter. Looking at the decibel meter. Hey, look at that, it's going as low as 76. Yeah, 77 to 76, so we definitely cut some decibels off of that. Alright, we're going to get on the road and see what else we've got done. That's in and around town driving, about the same place we were the last time. Now we're going to get onto I-215. I don't know what the decibel meter shows because I'm not watching it, but boy does it seem a lot quieter. getting off I-215. I'm gonna climb these hills up against the mountains. And that's where we really had those long pulls at 3,000 RPM. They got that 93 decibel drone. We'll see how it does this time. Alright, so I don't know if quantitatively that actually made a difference, but qualitatively it absolutely did. Those hills don't sound half. The drone gets there, but it's definitely cut it down. It's not as half as painful as it was. So I think it made a big difference. And I think that's about where we're going to end this video. If you come this far, appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.